just briefly explain why. Why am I here with 3 other artists when I could have just worked by myself? And as you've noticed, everyone's been collaborating a lot. That tends to be what happens if you go and live somewhere, unless you like to be by yourself, which can happen. But so I've actually known Glenn Stasiuk since 2011, when I attended a forum for an exhibition at by Tanya Ferrier, which was called the Quad Project at the Healesville Museum, is that what it's called? Sorry. Heathcote, which was a former asylum. And I met him from that second on. We had conversations never ending. So, and one of the films that's showing of Glenn Stasiuk's is a work that's just released late last year called Wajima, Black Prison, White Playground. So that's the first time shown here in the museum. It's been shown in various places at festivals, but so we'll be getting each one of you to talk about the works. And the other work of Glenn, so I've known each one of these people for many years, and Curtis and I worked together we first met to work on the Phone Booth project, a collaboration for the We Don't Need a Map exhibition, which is also included in that collection. And Fiona Walsh and I met under the shelter of a donga in Punmu in 2013, and she'd just finished making her work, Handing Back the Past, and was sitting there showing photographs from the film to various people, and I was like peering over her shoulder going, hey, this is great, and it stuck in my mind. So it was kind of through the residency and plus through my own long-term comings and goings from WA that when it came to an exhibition, I wanted to show not my work, but really a look in and out of the Western Desert and the Pilbara more broadly. Tyson is from Roban. To get a sense of really what it is to be an artist and a filmmaker, and in the case of Fiona, an ethnobiologist or working for CSIRO, what's the experience from the point of view of the community and the artists. So we're going to have a discussion together. That was my summary, just so you don't think we're all here by chance. So now we did actually, we've got a couple of questions, but maybe, the other thing I didn't mention about Glenn is he happened to make a work in 2006 called Footprints in the Sand. And that was, and I'll get you to describe it because it's better than me, and that's being shown as well. So has anyone seen that playing up there? Yeah. At time, it's probably, you got to spend a few hours in my section of the show to get through things. But so really, I wanted for us to talk to each other, and also at the end, obviously, we'll be having your questions. Really, to first of all get a sense of since, and I've written these things down, but since filmmaking is something that lives in and through time and places, how does the past inspire you to make work? We've all talked about these things already, so I know these guys are interested. And how do you decide which stories to tell or retell? And we might just kind of go in a row or whatever, like this.
I'd just like to say to Juki and Wong, the sisters from up north, Wanju Kwa Nunga Buja, Nang Jirpa Nunga Maman, Nunakin Nining, Nang Nining, Nijiting Karajan Wagining. So to welcome to Noongar country, and to all the mobs sitting here, or you, I'm a very happy Noongar man to see you sitting here today. And Nunakan Nalak Nijiting Karajan Wagining, we will listen, look, learn and talk. So language is an absolute godsend to our culture, and in Noongar country we too keep it very much to our heart, Court, and Court Buja, this is our heartland, this is our country, and it will always be. Why did I do what I did? My whole experience in filmmaking has been about memory escape, so in Noongar we call it Kora, and I basically try and deal with the concept of Kora Yiye Buddha, so what we speak about yesterday takes apart what we do today so that we can give tomorrow. And that's pretty much what I do for my Kulunga, my children. So I try and sort of archive things in a way that they can then learn from as well. Footprints in the Sand was a film that I fell in love with the story straight away because it's, to me, as I pitched it to the Australian Film Commission, it was a Romeo and Juliet in the desert, a story of Warren Yatunka, who were eloped against cultural law and they went out to the country and had some sons and just lived out in Muttlejarra country on their own, and brought up two beautiful sons who had to then go back through business and went at that time to Wiluna, because I think there was a few communities springing up from the mob in Muttlejarra coming in, so would have been Warburton was one and Wiluna. Your mob? Yeah. Jigalong. And so I did the story because I was a Noongar filmmaker, but I loved the whole universal element of love and the eternal significance of country and culture and our love for it. And so I did that story even I was out of my comfort zone. And it was a memory escape. I remember pitching the story, and the mob at SBS and the commissioning editors were a pain in the arse. The gatekeepers, I call them. They wanted me to do it as a sort of fly on the wall, verite, almost, reality TV bullshit. And I just said, nah, I'm not doing that. I did shoot it 2 ways, and it was good that my editor at the time, who actually edited Alvin Purple, if there's anyone out.
Oh my goodness. That's not a comparison.
No, but what it was is I asked him how we got together, and he just said story. It's about story, it's about characters. It doesn't matter whether it's about a sexploitation film or this beautiful film of two Maru couple. And then what I did is I basically shot it in a way that was a memory escape. So I used your yellow boss, the son, to take us on the journey to talk about his mum and dad, and then to obviously show footage of them coming in from country in '77. So it was again that, Kora Yiye Buddha. It was about what was happening there and then in 2006 with Yellow Boss, and he was taking us back to his birthplace, which was a watering hole, part of the Lunki Dreaming up there that he's part of. And he took us back, after 20 years he hadn't been back to his birthplace. So he was going back in time almost, and he was talking to country, and country was talking to him and his spirits of his mum and dad. And that was something I was just blown away by. And we filmed it so that it had the story of his two narratives. It had the story of his mother and father and Mudjon in this group of Muttlejarra or Maru mob from Wiluna in 1977, being told through the journey of your yellow boss going back to where he was born and his country, and the whole element of flora and fauna coming together, and Maru needing to be out there if it was going to survive, and fire stick burning and all the things that I think Curtis's film talks about as well. And that was just something that I was privileged to do and honoured to do, and it's something that I do in all my Noongar work. So to go outside of Noongar Butcher into Muttlejarra Maru country and share that was one of the best highlights of my life. And my daughter Luana was named by the mob up north. Me and my wife hadn't seen each other for 6 to 8 months because I was filming 2 films back to back. And they said, "You got 2 daughters, the mob up there?" And I said, "I got one, Maya, which is Noongar for home." They said, "You got 2, and she's a little wildflower, and she's going to come to you, and she's going to make your life even better than it is now." And she was born a year later. Her name was Luana, so they knew. That's the future. That's the stuff that comes. Yeah. So it's about yesterday, today, and tomorrow for me.
Yeah. So it was a gift to.
Oh, the film was beautiful. Just to be honoured to be part of that community, and meet mob up there and get them to do the soundtrack and take me through their country, and then certainly I look back on it now, and it's the best form of sort of home video you get, because I was on this journey with them, so it's for them and it's about them, but I was part of that. And when I look at the film now, I can just remember my emotions right where I was at that particular time, and that's, to me, as an archive, what you're talking about, a memory scape.
That's a beautiful word, and it leads me to think of another thing. I'm sort of moving the question a bit, but Curtis, it's been on my mind actually to ask you this, because it's one thing to go as an outsider into community and say, "I'd like to make a film," and then find yourself, if you're not welcome, you shouldn't do it, but to find yourself welcome and supported and things shared, because of course not everyone's happy to have their story out there and want to be on the screen, although a lot of people don't mind. Curtis, it's maybe another thing altogether to actually do it with your own community. And because I couldn't imagine filming anyone I'm very close to or who might have different views about that too, So I'm wondering whether you have anything to say. It's probably a little complicated, but about your experiences in making films at home in some ways? Or
Yeah, same. I think Glenn summed it up really well. I'm at the same place, or kind of in the same place that with my work right now. I want to record the recent history of Murdu people, but also not just Murdu, but East and West Pilbara, and my family's connection to their Ngura, their homelands, and really fortunate enough to work with other Murdu or other Aboriginal artists like Glenn and Tyson, with their stories from their people, like with the Watjumap one, acting in that film and working up with